Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Andrew Carnegie, 1835 to 1919, was among the wealthiest and most famous industrialists of his day. Through Carnegie Corporation of New York, the innovative philanthropic foundation he established in 1911, his fortune has since supported everything from the discovery of insulin and the dismantling of nuclear weapons to the creation of Pell Grants and Sesame Street. The work of the corporation and its grantees has helped shape public discourse and policy for more than 100 years. Millions of people have benefited from Carnegie's foresighted generosity, a legacy of real and permanent good. We invite you to learn more about this remarkable man's life through an interactive timeline, historical documents, photographs, audio, and more. Andrew Carnegie's birthplace, Dunfermline, was Scotland's historic medieval capital. Later famous for producing fine linen, the town fell on hard times when industrialism made home-based weaving obsolete, leaving workers such as Carnegie's father, Will, hard-pressed to support their families. Will and his father-in-law, Thomas Morrison, a shoemaker and political reformer, joined the popular Chartist movement, which believed conditions for workers would improve if the masses were to take over the government from the landed gentry. When the movement failed in 1848, Will Carnegie and his wife, Margaret, sold their belongings to book passage to America for themselves and their sons, 13-year-old Andrew and 5-year-old Tom. At the age of 13, Carnegie worked from dawn until dark as a bobbin boy in a cotton mill, carrying bobbins to the workers at the looms and earning $1.20 per week. A year later, he was hired as a messenger for a local telegraph company, where he taught himself how to use the equipment and was promoted to telegraph operator. With this skill, he landed a job with the Pennsylvania Railroad, where he was promoted to superintendent at the age of 24. Keen eye for opportunity. Thomas A. Scott, a superintendent of the Western Division of the Pennsylvania Railroad and Andrew Carnegie's boss, initiated the future millionaire's first investment when he alerted Carnegie to the impending sale of 10 shares in the Adams Express Company. By mortgaging their house, Margaret Carnegie obtained $500 to buy the shares, and soon the first stream of dividends began rolling in. While associated with the railroad, Carnegie developed a wide variety of other business interests. Theodore Woodruff approached him with the idea of sleeping cars on railways, offering him a share in the Woodruff Sleeping Car Company. Carnegie secured a bank loan to accept Woodruff's proposal, a decision he would not regret. He ultimately bought the company that introduced the first successful sleeping car on a U.S. railroad. By age 30, Carnegie had amassed business interests in ironworks, steamers on the Great Lakes, railroads, and oil wells. He was subsequently involved in steel production and built the Carnegie Steel Corporation into the largest steel manufacturing company in the world. Business timeline. In 1849 to 1853, Andrew Carnegie becomes a messenger boy. Andrew Carnegie takes a job at the Pennsylvania Railroad in 1856. Andrew Carnegie invests in sleeping cars in 1861. Andrew Carnegie invests in oil in 1865 to 1901. Birth of a philanthropist. Andrew Carnegie's philanthropic career began around 1870. Although he supported myriad projects and causes, he is best known for his gifts of free public library buildings, beginning in his native Dunfermline and ultimately extending throughout the English-speaking world, including the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand. In 1887, Carnegie married Louise Whitfield of New York City. She supported his philanthropy and signed a prenuptial marriage agreement stating Carnegie's intention of giving away virtually his entire fortune during his lifetime. 2 years later, he wrote The Gospel of Wealth, which boldly articulated his view of the rich as trustees of their wealth, who should live without extravagance, provide moderately for their families, and use their riches to promote the welfare and happiness of others. This statement of his philosophy was read all over the world, and Carnegie's intentions were widely praised. Wealthiest man in the world. Andrew Carnegie sold his steel company to J.P. Morgan for $480 million in 1901. Retiring from business, Carnegie set about in earnest to distribute his fortune. In addition to funding libraries, he paid for thousands of church organs in the United States and around the world. Carnegie's wealth helped to establish numerous colleges, schools, nonprofit organizations, and associations in his adopted country, and many others. His most significant contribution, both in money and enduring influence, was the establishment of several trusts or institutions bearing his name, including Carnegie Museums of Pittsburgh, the Carnegie Trust of the Universities of Scotland, Carnegie Institution for Science, Carnegie Foundation, supporting the Peace Palace, Carnegie Dunfermline Trust, Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching, Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, and the Carnegie UK Trust. One of the most tangible examples of Andrew Carnegie's philanthropy was the founding of 2,509 libraries in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Of these libraries, 1,679 were built in the United States. Carnegie spent over $55 million of his wealth on libraries alone, and he is often referred to as the patron saint of libraries. Giving and legacy. In 1911, Andrew Carnegie established Carnegie Corporation of New York, which he dedicated to the advancement and diffusion of knowledge and understanding. It was the last philanthropic institution founded by Carnegie, and was dedicated to the principles of scientific philanthropy, investing in the long-term progress of our society. Carnegie himself was the first president of the corporation, which he endowed in perpetuity with his remaining fortune $135 million, to be used principally to promote education and international peace. While his primary aim was to benefit the people of the United States, Carnegie later determined to use a portion of the funds for members of the British Overseas Commonwealth. For the trustees of the corporation, he chose his longtime friends and associates, giving them permission to adapt its program to the times. "Conditions upon the earth inevitably change," he wrote in the Deed of Gift. "Hence no wise man will bind trustees forever to certain paths, causes, or institutions. They shall best conform to my wishes by using their own judgment." Champion for peace. By the time of his death, Andrew Carnegie, despite his best efforts, had not been able to give away his entire fortune. He had distributed $350 million, but had $30 million left, which went into the corporation's endowment. Toward the end of his life, Carnegie, a pacifist, had a single goal: achieving world peace. He believed in the power of international laws and trusted that future conflicts could be averted through mediation. He supported the founding of the Peace Palace in The Hague in 1903, gave $10 million to found the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace in 1910, hastened the abolition of international war, and worked ceaselessly for the cause until the outbreak of World War I. He died still brokenhearted about the failure of his efforts in August 1919, 2 months after the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. Despite his controversial actions, Andrew Carnegie's philanthropy and innovation have left a lasting impact on society, with the funding of universities, schools, and thousands of free public libraries around the world. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to explore more about us in our channel.